God message: lean in with your whole spirit, because what is arriving for you has already been written in quiet light. A presence has been circling your life like dawn at the edge of a closed curtain, patient and sure. Tonight the curtain begins to move, and the first line of your new chapter starts breathing. You felt it as a low thrum behind ordinary moments, a soft pull in your chest that refused to fade. Their steps kept aligning with yours in the maps of coincidence, like threads that kept touching in the loom. The world disguised it as chance, but heaven kept nodding with a knowing smile. A sequence of subtle signs followed you like a lantern carried at your side. A name appearing when you least expected, a color repeating, a lyric arriving at the perfect second. The rhythm built without noise, until you realized silence itself was singing. Your story did not stall, it was being tempered. The waiting molded your heart into a vessel that could carry commitment without spilling. The longing stretched your capacity so the blessing would land and stay. Type Amen to get blessing 333. You carried promises across long evenings, and your hands never dropped them. That endurance became your signature, your unseen crown. Now that crown is visible to the one who was meant to recognize it without being told. They moved through their own training, far from your eyes but close to your destiny. The friction they faced polished their edges until they could hold you without cutting you. Their mistakes turned into humility, and that humility turned into wisdom that will guard your future. Your heart is not ordinary furniture in a crowded room, it is a sanctuary with a single open door. Only the right soul knows the code to enter without forcing. Only the right voice knows how to speak inside without echoing harm. A slow courage is rising in them, like a tide that refuses to recede. They are ready to choose with both hands and both feet. They are ready to love in a way that does not tremble and does not run. Type Amen to get blessing 444. Comment: I receive this promise. The path ahead is not a maze, it is a corridor lined with confirmations. The first confirmation stands in a familiar place that suddenly feels brighter. The second confirmation arrives in words that sound like your own thoughts, but calmer. Your chest will feel lighter at the exact hour they appear, as if a small gate opened inside your ribs. Your breath will deepen on its own, as if your body knew before your mind. Peace will seat itself beside you like an old friend who never left. They noticed what others skimmed past. They saw the steadiness you practice when no one is applauding. They saw the way you keep your promises even when no one is counting. Respect precedes love in this story, and the respect is already established. Trust follows respect like a river follows a carved bed. Love flows last, not because it is slow, but because it is weighty. Type Amen to get blessing 555. Comment: I am ready for aligned love. Their eyes carry a quiet vow they rehearsed in private. The vow sounds like every door locking behind you both, not in fear, but in safety. The vow sounds like a house that stands through every season. The future reaches back for you right now with deliberate fingers. It touches the places you hid, and the places you outgrew. It honors what you survived without demanding you relive it. You will not fold yourself smaller to be chosen. You will not dim the hallway of your gifts to make someone else comfortable. You will not pretend your calling is a hobby. The person coming toward you cherishes the fire in you rather than fearing it. They bring wood instead of water, tending the flame with reverent hands. Together you warm rooms that once felt cold. Type Amen to get blessing 777. Comment I accept the divine timing. There is a table being set with names written on place cards. Your card sits beside theirs, and the script looks like a signature from home. No one else fits that seat without making the whole table tilt. Doors will open with less noise than you expected. Administrative things suddenly align, travel becomes simple, schedules fit like puzzle pieces. The universe stops arguing and starts assisting. You will hear your own laughter sound different in their presence. It will be fuller, like a bell finally hung in its rightful tower. It will echo into the next days and still feel fresh in the morning. Your friends will notice the calm that drops over you like evening shade. Your work will grow roots because the soil of your life is less disturbed. Your sleep will deepen because your spirit is no longer on watch. Type Amen to get blessing 888. Comment I anchor this blessing now. They watched you honor small duties when no spotlight was available. That is the sign that moved them most, because they know small faithfulness becomes large shelter. They choose you not for your performance, but for your substance. Your name rests on their tongue like a prayer they learned by heart. Your presence steadies their pulse even when your body is not in the room. Your voice lands on them like guidance from a wiser version of themselves. You desired a love that inspires, not a love that drains. You desired partnership that multiplies strength rather than borrowing it. You desired a home that feels like clarity rather than negotiation. This is the answer folding toward you now, segment by segment. The pages are turning without tearing. The binding is strong enough to be read for a lifetime. Type Amen to get blessing 999. Comment I welcome holy partnership. Archangel Michael says, your name is being spoken in rooms you have not entered. The right ears are turning toward you with honor. The right hearts are preparing to hold you with care that does not wobble. The promise did not skip you, it circled until you were ready to keep it. The promise did not forget you, it waited for both routes to intersect cleanly. The promise did not expire, it matured into something richer than your first dream. Security arrives as a practice before it arrives as a plan. You are practicing it now by staying present to this moment. You are practicing it by releasing comparisons that never carried your signature. They are practicing it too, learning how to speak from the center rather than the edges. They are practicing it by seeking wise counsel and listening to it. They are practicing it by placing their ego behind their devotion. Type Amen to get blessing 1111. Comment I stand in this alignment. A gentle unveiling starts with shared truth. Their history is not a storm to fear, it is a chart to read together. Your compassion meets their courage and forges a bridge. Communication becomes a sanctuary rather than a battlefield. Words become tools for building rather than weapons for scoring. You both agree that silence will never become punishment. Boundaries are sacred walls that keep the garden safe. You both honor them without apology, because protection is love in action. The garden grows because the walls are healthy. Your work expands under the blessing of this union. Their support lifts your projects like wind at your back. Your encouragement sharpens their focus like light on a lens. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. Comment I choose healthy love. The familiar ache that once followed you like a small shadow begins to fade. It fades not because you ignore it, but because love keeps the lights on. It fades because you are no longer rehearsing loss. You lived for years with your shoulders half raised, as if expecting a drop. You can lower them now, because this roof holds. You can breathe through your whole spine without bracing. Family patterns that once tugged at your ankles lose their hold. You bless what you came from without repeating what hurt you. You step forward with grace, not with guilt. This bond becomes a turning point in your bloodline story. The chapter that begins with you writes differently for those who come after. The echo of your choice travels further than your voice. Type Amen to get blessing 1313. Comment I end cycles and begin legacy. You recognize them by how your nervous system responds. It quiets, not from numbness, but from recognition. It brightens, not from hype, but from truth. The days start carrying a steady hum of gratitude. Gratitude becomes the atmosphere you both breathe. Gratitude becomes the way you both travel through conflict without getting lost. Your home becomes a place where creativity stands barefoot in the kitchen. Ideas sit at the table with the tea. Solutions arrive because pressure is not the only engine. Friends who love you cheer because they can see the glow. Mentors smile because they can see the growth. Heaven nods because it can see the agreement. Type Amen to get blessing 1414. Comment I seal this with gratitude. The next months unfold like a long-awaited letter finally opened. Each paragraph reveals a detail you once imagined in fragments. Now the fragments assemble into a clear picture that stands by itself. Promises turn into plans with dates and addresses. Plans turn into lived days with music and sunlight. Lived days turn into memories you do not rush past. You stand at thresholds hand in hand, and the doorframes bless you as you cross. You hang art that reflects the peace inside your bones. You build a rhythm that supports the work of your hands. Your laughter will be the soundtrack to ordinary errands. Your tenderness will be the weather inside your rooms. Your integrity will be the architecture that keeps everything upright. Type Amen to get blessing 1515. Comment I claim peaceful days. The person coming toward you does not just admire your light, they protect the power source. They understand that love is stewardship, not consumption. They treat your soul like a living flame. They know that the right hug can reset an entire day. They know that the right sentence can quiet a storm without thunder. They know that the right silence can hold space without withdrawal. You will find adventure that does not require chaos. You will find rest that does not require escape. You will find growth that does not require self-erasure. This is the partnership that turns purpose into a duet. This is the alignment that transforms effort into ease. This is the love that keeps its promises even when the room is empty. Type Amen to get blessing 1717. Comment I welcome effortless alignment. Your finances breathe easier under shared wisdom. Decisions are made with clarity, not with panic. Investments are chosen with patience, not with impulse. You both honor generosity as a lifestyle that never empties you. You both respect savings as a promise to your future selves. You both treat opportunities as doors that open when character knocks. Travel becomes a meaningful thread in your tapestry. You gather moments instead of trophies. You collect understanding instead of souvenirs. Your calendars bow to what matters most. Your conversations end with softness even when you disagree. Your nights end with warmth even when the day was heavy. Type Amen to get blessing 1818. Comment I align my resources with purpose. Your past loves you for what it taught. Your present loves you for how you show up. Your future loves you for the way you keep saying yes to growth. The person arriving does not rescue you from your life. They join you inside a life that already carries worth. Together you magnify that worth until it spills into every corner. Your standards remain high without becoming a prison. Their devotion remains fierce without becoming a fire that scorches. Together you cultivate balance that feels like music in the bones. The mirror begins to tell the truth again. You look and see someone sturdy, tender, and free. You look and recognize the one they already love. Type Amen to get blessing 1919. Comment I embody this truth. You will notice how time feels longer and kinder together. Even difficult hours stretch enough to be handled without breaking. Even short moments store enough sweetness to feed the next day. Projects you postponed begin to move with grace. Doors you assumed were closed yield with a gentle push. People who forgot you remember with sincere warmth. Compassion becomes your household policy. Accountability becomes a shared language. Celebration becomes a frequent visitor who knows the way in. Forgiveness flows without bargaining away dignity. Repair happens fast because pride does not sit at the head of the table. Joy returns quickly because you keep the path clear. Type Amen to get blessing 2020. Comment I keep the path clear. There is a sacred ordinariness about the way this unfolds. It does not require spectacle, because the substance is solid. It does not require proving, because the fruit is obvious. You both choose modesty without hiding and brilliance without boasting. You both choose tenderness without fragility and strength without hardness. You both choose maturity without losing wonder. This is not a sprint toward a finish line, it is a pilgrimage that blesses every mile. Each step marks ground that stays wholly behind you. Each mile writes a new stanza in your shared psalm of life. You will look back and see the thin places where heaven touched earth. You will look forward and see stable horizons that invite bold planning. You will look around and find community that reflects your values. Type Amen to get blessing 2121. Comment I walk this pilgrimage with peace. Your dreams recalibrate under the light of dependable love. They become cleaner, braver, kinder. They become less about escaping pain and more about expanding good. Mentors, elders, and trusted friends will confirm what you already know. Guidance will arrive at just the right fork. Provision will meet you at the exact bend. You become the person you once prayed to meet. You hold your own heart with the same reverence they do. You refuse to abandon yourself even while you give deeply. The bond becomes a shelter that others can stand under for a moment without getting wet. The bond becomes a lighthouse that keeps you both oriented in fog. The bond becomes a hearth that turns strangers into guests. Type Amen to get blessing 2323. Comment I become what I seek. Seasons pass, and your love remains steady like a faithful tide. You weather holiday noise and weekday quiet with equal grace. You keep finding reasons to smile when no camera is near. Your bodies learn each other's languages with patience. Your habits braid together without knots. Your rituals anchor the weeks in meaning. You plant small traditions that grow tall. Found objects gain story, everyday places gain soul. The years begin to hum with continuity that feels like home. You are pursued without pressure and held without hurry. You are seen without scrutiny and cherished without condition. You are chosen without expiration. Type Amen to get blessing 2424. Comment I receive a love that lasts. There is a moment soon when your hands touch and both timelines click into place. The sound is quiet, almost private, like a key meeting its lock. After that, movement feels natural, not negotiated. Announcements happen in their own time, not the internet's time. You reveal what is precious with the discernment of guardians. You protect the roots while the branches begin to show. You write plans on paper and also on each other's hearts. The paper holds the logistics. The hearts hold the why. Home becomes sacred ground you guard with joy. Work becomes meaningful service you offer with excellence. Rest becomes holy leisure that repairs you both. Type Amen to get blessing 2525. Comment I honor roots and reveal fruit wisely. You forgive the versions of yourself that did not know how to wait without worry. You bless the versions that kept walking anyway. You celebrate the version standing here with open hands. This love does not repeat the past, it redeems it. This love does not imitate old pain, it heals it. This love does not look around to compare, it looks within to commit. Celebrations arrive softly and stay long. Meals taste richer because laughter seasons them. Music sounds warmer because hearts are unguarded. Your story becomes a witness to others that wholeness is possible. Your presence becomes a reminder that steady love exists. Your eyes become a place where someone else can rest. Type Amen to get blessing 2626. Comment I live as a steady witness. Archangel Michael says, the seal over your future is breaking open. The wax gives under the warmth of your faith and the focus of your choices. The scroll unrolls without tearing, and every line favors your name. You do not chase what is already walking toward you. You prepare room with quiet dignity. You keep your table set with hope and wisdom. The days just ahead carry introductions that feel like remembering. The alignment is simple, the clarity is clean, the timing is kind. The first embrace feels like a sentence finally ending with the right period. You will sleep through the night and wake without dread. You will work through the day and finish without depletion. You will love through the years and grow without losing yourself. Type Amen to get blessing 2727. Comment I prepare room and keep it ready. Your heart learns a new rhythm that does not rush. Your voice learns a new tone that does not plead. Your eyes learn a new light that does not strain. You learn to speak your needs without fear of forfeiture. You learn to hold their needs without fear of drowning. You learn to co-create without fear of competition. The promise extends beyond romance into purpose. You become partners in building, healing, lifting. You become the kind of pair that leaves places better than you found them. Your life becomes a quiet resonance heard by those who need courage. Your home becomes a soft lamp seen by those who need direction. Your love becomes a steady drum that helps others keep time. Type Amen to get blessing 2828. Comment: I co-create with love. The one who claims your heart does so with presence, not pressure. With consistency, not performance. With reverence, not possession. Your future is not being borrowed, it is being built. Brick by brick, trust by trust, choice by choice. The foundation is already level. Heaven keeps watch and smiles at the sight. Earth makes room and aligns the path. Your spirit nods and says at last. The story does not end at union, it begins there. Every chapter deepens the meaning of the word home. Every page confirms that you both were right to say yes. Type Amen to get blessing 3030. God message. Archangel Michael says, lean closer to this moment, because a quiet turning is underway inside your timeline. The wheel that once creaked now moves with oil, and your name glides along its rim. A decisive hour is placing itself gently in your hands like a living ember. The air around you carries a finer texture, as if reality was freshly pressed. Rooms you enter seem to greet you before anyone speaks. Even your reflection looks steadier, as though it knows something kind is approaching. Across town, their resolve is tightening with a patient grace. They practice the language of devotion until it sounded like their first tongue. They are preparing to speak with actions that need no translation. A private courage rises in your chest like sunrise climbing the edges of a hill. Your feet feel guided without being pushed. Your spirit feels held without being restrained. Type Amen to get blessing 3131. Comment: I receive this unfolding with peace. You will notice how invitations arrive without noise and land with certainty. A day gets circled, a place gets chosen, and the logistics melt into alignment. You feel the signature of rightness in the way everything becomes simple. The meeting does not owe the world a spectacle, because substance is already here. A familiar doorway becomes a sacred gate when love stands on both sides. Even the floor seems to understand it is witnessing a promise begin. Your breath finds a cadence that keeps time with your future. It moves in clean arcs rather than stuttered edges. Your body recognizes safety and answers with ease. They reach for your hand with reverence, like a prayer finally allowed to touch ground. Their eyes hold the kind of calm that makes decisions safe. Their voice carries steadiness that makes rooms feel like home. Type Amen to get blessing 3232. Comment: I am ready for steady love. You planned for love that could carry responsibility without dropping tenderness. You asked for devotion that guards the spark rather than consuming it. Now that devotion stands within arm's reach and asks to build a life. The blueprint of your union has been drawn in a language of small, faithful habits. It reads like morning coffee and shared calendars. It reads like honest check-ins and joyful problem-solving. Purpose gathers its tools near your joined footsteps. Your projects feel lighter because two hands turn wrenches better than one. Their focus sharpens your vision, and your kindness lengthens their reach. Your home begins to hum with workable peace. Cupboards close softly and conversations finish with warmth. Even silence takes its place as a welcome guest rather than a cold stranger. Type Amen to get blessing 3434. Comment: I anchor peace in my home. You bless your past for making you precise about what you will allow. You bless your present for teaching you how to hold good things